Hey everyone, welcome back. We're going to be diving into some seriously fascinating HIV research today.
Yeah,
So,
really cool stuff.
if you've been following along, we've been really looking into the future of HIV treatment.
Yeah.
And we've got a recent article and a video, and both of them are about this new pill that scientists are working on, and it's pretty amazing.
It's kind of a big deal.
Imagine taking just one pill per week for HIV.
Yeah, that's what they're working toward.
That's the future that they're looking at, and the results in animals are really, really promising.
Really promising. And, you know, it's amazing when you think about where we've come from with HIV treatment. You know, from like handfuls of pills every day to now we're talking about once a week. I mean,
It's incredible.
it's pretty remarkable how far we've come.
Yeah, so let's get into it.
Okay.
How does this pill actually work?
Yeah.
You're not swallowing like,
Right. You're not taking...
a giant horse pill for the whole week?
No.
Like,
It's
How
actually...
does this work?
It's much more ingenious than that.
Okay.
So it's all based on this really specially engineered device called a scaffold.
Okay.
Okay.
A scaffold.
So think of it like
Okay.
Imagine this tiny star-shaped structure
Okay.
about the size of like a small cookie,
Okay.
and it unfolds in your stomach.
Wait a minute.
It stays put for 7 days,
Hold on. A cookie that unfolds in your stomach.
pretty much,
Yeah.
and it just steadily releases the medication.
That is wild. And it just sits there all week.
Yeah, pretty much. It's designed so that food can pass through without any problems.
Wow.
Yeah, and the scaffold itself is made from materials that are biocompatible, meaning they're safe for your body,
Okay.
and they'll eventually just break down naturally.
That is some serious. And then the
This science
medications.
fiction stuff happening.
Yeah, it really
in
is.
the world.
It's amazing.
Yes.
And the medications that it releases are dolutegravir, rilpivirine, and cabotegravir.
And these are all antiretroviral drugs, so they work together to suppress the HIV virus.
Okay.
And they're commonly used in current daily pill regimens.
So they're taking what's already being used
Exactly.
and just figuring out a
Here.
different way
A different way to deliver it.
to deliver it.
That's right.
It's like a little time release house
It is.
for the medication inside your body.
It is like a little time release capsule right there in your stomach.
Wow.
But the really exciting part is that this delivery system
Yeah.
might not be limited to just HIV treatment.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
So the article mentions they've already tested this with ivermectin,
Okay.
which is used to treat parasitic infections like river blindness
Wow.
and some types of malaria.
So this could change how we manage all sorts of chronic conditions,
Exactly.
not even just HIV.
That's right. Think about it.
Wow.
People with conditions like dementia, mental health conditions, even things like diabetes, could potentially benefit from this kind of weekly medication delivery.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine the impact on adherence to treatment.
Right.
People wouldn't have to remember to take a pill every single day,
Yeah.
which could lead to better outcomes for everybody.
Okay, this is huge, but it sounds very futuristic.
It does.
Where are we in terms of this actually,
Yeah. Where were we?
becoming a reality?
Well, they've completed successful trials in pigs,
Okay,
but human trials are still a couple of years away.
so not quite there yet.
Okay.
Not quite there.
Getting closer.
Getting much closer.
Okay.
The company developing this technology is called
Brindra.
and they're aiming to start human trials within the next year.
That's exciting.
It is very exciting, but
Yeah.
it's important to remember that what works in animals doesn't always translate perfectly to humans.
Right.
There's still a lot of research
Of course.
to be done to make sure it's safe and effective for people.
So hurdles to clear still.
Definitely still some hurdles.
What kind of challenges do you
Yeah.
think that researchers might face? Well, first and foremost, they need to prove that it's safe and effective for humans in the long term.
Okay.
We need to understand how individual variations in metabolism could affect the way the medication is released and absorbed.
Right.
What if somebody has a particularly acidic stomach environment? Will that impact the scaffold?
Right.
And what about the risk of the scaffold getting dislodged somehow?
Right.
These are all questions that researchers will need to address.
Okay, so a lot to still figure out,
Yeah.
but it's easy to get caught up in the excitement
Oh, absolutely.
of a breakthrough like this.
Yeah,
But you also have to be realistic
absolutely.
about the challenges as well.
For sure. And there are other factors to consider too, like affordability and global access.
Right. Because even if it works.
Yeah, even if it's a game changer, will it be accessible to everybody who needs it?
Exactly.
Regardless of where they live or their financial situation.
Yeah, that's a really
important point.
These are all complex questions that need to be addressed.
Yeah.
It sounds like there's a lot to be optimistic about.
A lot to be optimistic about.
But also a lot of work ahead.
It's a major step forward in HIV treatment research, but it's just one step on a much longer journey.
Yeah, it's really cool to think about how this could change the lives of people living with HIV.
Yeah.
You know, no more daily pills to remember.
Absolutely.
That would be a huge shift.
Huge shift. But for now, let's maybe shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
You mentioned a video about this research, and it focuses on a slightly different but equally important aspect of HIV care.
You're talking about HIV testing.
Yeah, HIV testing, exactly.
Okay.
The video really emphasizes the importance of early detection and regular testing.
Okay.
And they make a really powerful point. No matter how revolutionary a treatment like this weekly pill might be, it's only as good as our ability to diagnose and intervene early.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because even with a weekly pill,
right,
the earlier you start treatment,
yeah,
the better your chances of managing the virus effectively.
Absolutely. And the video also delves into a specific type of test called the HIV RNA test, which can detect the virus very early on, even before antibodies are detectable.
Wow.
So it's incredibly helpful for both diagnosis and monitoring how well the treatment's working.
That's amazing.
They also mentioned a website, HIVRNAtestguide.com, where people in the United States can find information about testing options.
So we've got this potentially groundbreaking new technology on the horizon, but
it all comes back to the basics.
It all comes back to the basics.
All need to detect.
Early detection and consistent treatment.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that we can't lose sight of the fundamentals while we're looking ahead to the future.
Yeah, I love that.
It's a multifaceted approach, and every piece of the puzzle is important.
So for those of you listening,
yeah,
what stands out to you about this research?
What are your
biggest questions?
Concerns? What are you thinking about?
Let's keep this conversation going.
Yeah, for me, what's most fascinating is the potential impact of this weekly pill on the lives of people living with HIV.
Yeah.
Imagine the freedom and peace of mind it could offer.
It's truly remarkable to think about how far
it really is.
HIV treatment has come.
Yeah, and how research like this is paving the way for even more groundbreaking advancements.
That's amazing.
It's a testament to the power of scientific innovation and a reminder that we need to keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. But it also highlights the importance of addressing issues like access and affordability so that everyone can benefit from these breakthroughs.
Absolutely. Innovation is only truly impactful when it reaches
the people who need it most.
The people who need it.
Exactly.
And that requires a collective effort from researchers, healthcare providers, policymakers, and of course the community.
Absolutely. We'll dive more into those broader societal implications in just a bit, but first we'd like to hear from you.
Yes.
What excites you most about this new research? What questions are swirling around in your head?
Keep those thoughts coming.
Keep those thoughts coming.
And we'll be back to explore them further.
We will.
All right, so we've talked about the science behind this weekly HIV pill and the potential benefits and challenges ahead. But as you mentioned, there are some broader societal implications to consider.
Absolutely. This isn't just about a new pill. It's about how that pill could impact people's lives, their relationships, and even the way society views HIV. You mentioned earlier the potential psychological benefits of a weekly pill.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Sure. So think about it. For someone living with HIV, taking a daily pill can be a constant reminder of their condition.
Yeah.
It can impact their daily routine, their travel plans, even their sense of privacy.
I can see how that could be a burden, even if you've come to terms with the diagnosis.
Exactly. But with a weekly pill, that burden could be significantly reduced. It's not just about convenience. It's about giving people more freedom and a greater sense of control over their lives. And that could have a ripple effect on their mental health and well-being.
Absolutely. It's about taking away a source of stress and allowing people to focus on other aspects of their lives.
Yeah.
The video even touched on the potential for this technology to be used for pre-EP, that's pre-exposure prophylaxis.
All right.
Which is a daily pill that people who are HIV negative can take to prevent infection.
So people at risk for HIV could take this weekly pill as a preventative measure.
Exactly. And that could be a game changer for pre-EP adherence.
Okay.
Because Some people find it difficult to remember to take a daily pill, especially if they don't perceive themselves to be at immediate risk.
Right.
But if you only had to remember once a week,
Yeah,
that could really boost prevention efforts.
that makes a lot of sense.
Make it a lot easier.
That brings us to another big question.
Yeah.
Stigma.
Stigma.
So we've talked about the potential for this weekly pill to improve individual well-being,
Right.
but could it also contribute to reducing the stigma surrounding HIV?
That's a complex issue.
Yep.
On the one hand, a weekly pill could make managing HIV more discreet.
Mm-hmm.
If someone isn't taking medication as frequently, it might lessen the chances of them having to disclose their status in certain situations.
So it could create a sense of normalcy?
Yeah, reduce the feeling of being different.
Right.
But on the other hand, stigma is deeply rooted in societal attitudes and beliefs.
Right.
It's not just about the practicalities of treatment.
So a new pill,
Yeah,
even a groundbreaking one,
right.
isn't going to erase stigma overnight.
Exactly. We need to address the underlying fear, misinformation, and discrimination that fuels stigma.
Okay.
It requires education awareness campaigns and challenging discriminatory laws and policies.
And it requires empathy, compassion, and a willingness to listen to and learn from the experiences of people living with HIV.
Absolutely. Their stories and perspectives are essential in shaping effective policies and interventions.
Yeah, and speaking of shaping policies,
Yeah.
it's worth considering the role of funding in all of this.
Mhm.
The article mentions that this research was funded in part by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Oh, interesting.
So this is an example of philanthropy,
Yeah.
playing a crucial role in driving scientific advancements.
It is. Private funding can often support innovative research that might not otherwise receive funding through traditional channels.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how these different sectors,
It is.
governments, private institutions, individuals,
Yeah.
can come together with a shared goal and make incredible things happen.
It really speaks to the power of collaboration.
Yeah.
And it highlights the importance of continued investment in research and development. We can't become complacent.
Right.
HIV is still a global health challenge, and we need to keep fighting on all fronts.
One front that often gets overlooked is access to care.
Yeah.
So even if this weekly pill becomes a reality, will it be accessible to everyone who needs it?
That's a critical question.
Yeah.
We've seen this time and time again with new medical breakthroughs.
Right.
The initial excitement is often followed by concerns about cost availability and equitable distribution.
Will this be another case of a life-changing treatment being available only to those who can afford it?
That's a real risk.
Yeah.
We need to be proactive in addressing these issues from the outset.
Oh,
It's not enough to simply develop a new treatment. We need to ensure that it reaches the people who need it most, regardless of their socioeconomic status or geographic location.
and that requires a concerted effort from governments, healthcare providers, pharmaceutical companies, and advocacy groups.
It's a complex ecosystem,
Yeah.
but it's one that we need to navigate effectively if we want to make a real difference in the fight against HIV.
While this weekly pill is a symbol of hope and progress, it also serves as a reminder that we have a lot of work to do to ensure that everyone benefits from these advancements.
Well said. It's about creating a world where everyone has the opportunity to live a long, healthy life, regardless of their HIV status.
That's beautiful.
And that brings us back to the importance of HIV testing.
It all comes full circle.
It does, no matter how effective our treatments become. Early detection and intervention will always be crucial.
And that requires access to testing accurate information and support systems for people who are newly diagnosed.
It's about creating a holistic approach to HIV care. One that addresses not just the virus itself, but also the social, emotional, and economic factors that can impact a person's journey.
We've covered a lot of ground here,
We have.
from the science of this new pill to the broader societal implications.
Yeah.
But I'm curious what's sticking with you from this conversation.
For me, it's the reminder that scientific advancements are just one piece of the puzzle.
Okay.
We need a comprehensive approach that addresses the social, economic, and structural factors that contribute to health disparities.
That's such an important point, and it connects to something you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
The potential for technology to play a role in expanding access to HIV testing and care.
That's right. We're seeing incredible innovations in telemedicine,
Yeah.
online testing resources, and mobile health apps. These tools have the potential to overcome geographical barriers and connect people to healthcare providers and information in ways that were previously unimaginable.
It's exciting to think about how technology can empower individuals to take control of their health regardless of where they live.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
about bridging the gap between healthcare and those who need it most, ensuring that everyone has equal access to the resources and support they deserve.
Yeah.
It's about creating a more equitable and just healthcare system for all.
And we're also seeing the emergence of artificial intelligence and machine learning in HIV research and treatment.
Yes.
Do you think those technologies have the potential to revolutionize care?
Absolutely. Think about it. AI could help us analyze vast amounts of data to identify patterns, develop personalized treatment plans, and accelerate the pace of drug discovery.
Wow.
The possibilities are really quite astounding.
It feels like we're on the cusp of a new era in healthcare, one where technology plays an increasingly central role in prevention, diagnosis, treatment, and support.
It's a time of tremendous excitement and potential, but also a time for thoughtful consideration of the ethical and social implications of these advancements.
That's a crucial point. We need to ensure that these technologies are developed and deployed in a way that benefits everyone, not just a privileged few.
Right.
We need to be mindful of potential biases in algorithms, protect privacy, and address concerns about job displacement.
It's about striking a balance between embracing innovation and safeguarding human values.
Yeah.
And it requires ongoing dialogue and collaboration between scientists, policymakers, ethicists, and the community.
This conversation has been incredibly insightful. I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of this complex and evolving topic.
There's always more to learn, more to explore, and more to do, and that's what keeps this work so engaging and meaningful.
I'm curious to hear from our listeners.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on the potential of technology to transform HIV care?
What are you thinking about?
Share your insights and ideas with us.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's transition back to the weekly pill
Okay.
and its potential impact on a global scale.
Sounds good.
Ready to explore that further?
Let's do it.
Okay, so we've talked about this weekly pill's impact on, individuals in society.
Mm-hmm.
But let's zoom out even further.
Yeah.
How could this innovation impact, the global stage, especially in countries
Right.
with limited access to healthcare?
That's a really important question to consider.
Yeah.
Just imagine the impact in regions where consistent access to healthcare is a challenge.
Right.
A month's worth of HIV medication could be delivered in just 4 pills.
Wow, that's a powerful thought.
It is.
Suddenly, logistical hurdles
Right.
like transportation and storage become so much less daunting.
Exactly. And, think about the potential impact on healthcare workers in those regions.
Yeah.
They could then focus more on patient education and support
Right.
rather than just medication distribution.
Like this technology could almost re-envision the entire healthcare infrastructure in these places.
It's a possibility worth exploring, and it could even lead to economic benefits as fewer resources are needed for frequent clinic visits and medication deliveries.
This brings up another fascinating angle.
Okay.
This research could potentially shift
Yeah.
the power dynamics in the pharmaceutical industry.
Right.
Could this disrupt the current model of daily pill regimens?
It's certainly a possibility, if a weekly pill proves to be safe, effective, and affordable,
Yeah.
it could challenge the status quo and create a demand for more patient-centric treatment options.
Yeah. It's like we're seeing a convergence of forces here.
Yeah.
Scientific innovation,
Yeah.
evolving patient expectations,
For sure.
and the potential for market disruption.
It really underscores the importance of keeping a close eye on how this research unfolds. We need to be asking questions about who will benefit most from this innovation, who might be left behind, and how we can ensure equitable access on a global scale.
It's a reminder that progress isn't always linear or straightforward.
Yeah.
There are often, unintended consequences and ethical considerations to grapple with.
As we celebrate the potential of this breakthrough,
Yeah.
we also need to engage in critical conversations about its implications and advocate for policies that prioritize equity and accessibility.
That's so important, and it's something that you, our listener, can be a part of.
Absolutely.
Stay informed about the progress of this research. Engage in conversations about HIV and healthcare in your community, and support organizations working to make treatment accessible to all.
It's a collective effort, and every voice, every action can contribute to creating a world where everyone has the opportunity to live a healthy and fulfilling life.
This has been such an incredible conversation.
It has.
As we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah,
I'm left with a sense of cautious optimism.
I agree.
This weekly HIV pill represents a remarkable leap forward in scientific innovation.
It does.
But it also serves as a potent reminder of the ongoing challenges we face in ensuring equitable access to healthcare
Right.
and dismantling the stigma surrounding HIV.
It's a reminder that the fight against HIV is far from over.
Yes.
But with continued research, compassionate care, and a commitment to justice, we can create a future where HIV is no longer a life-defining diagnosis, but simply one aspect of a long and healthy life.
I love that. This has been an amazing exploration, and I want to thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
We encourage you to continue exploring the resources mentioned in this episode and to share your thoughts and questions with us.
Yeah, keep learning. Keep the conversation going.
We'll be back next week with another fascinating topic. Until then, keep learning and keep the conversation going.